Welcome everybody to the stream. For those that are new, my husband and I are making a game in C++ using the game engine that we made in C++. And the game will be a retro RPG style multiplayer deck builder. So we try to stream every other couple of days, maybe every other day, depending on... Oh, hold on a minute. Per usual, I keep forgetting that my audio plays on my YouTube video, so I've got to turn that off. All right, we're back. So we try to stream every couple of days, and he's been working on the back end, getting the networking established and all the systems. And then I'm working on the UI to get everything plugged in. So last couple of streams, I was working on the primary UI menu for the main game scene. I'll show you that here. And then another thing I want to incorporate in my elevator pitch, we don't use generative AI as part of this project, so we do the art by hand and the coding by hand, to the extent that that's possible. And I've clarified this in a comment, but if I'm Googling something because I'm stuck and the Google AI generated answer is useful, I'll use it, but we're writing everything by hand still. All right, so this is the primary HUD of the game, and we're in functional prototype mode, so most of the UI or the visuals are subject to change, but over here we have our party menu. This will be you and then the other players, and you'll be able to click on them to view their stats in their viewport. Right now everyone has the same viewport and the same stats, but then you'll be able to view your rune stones, your inventory, your level up menu where you can purchase more rune stones, then settings, and then if you hover over your equipment, this is all I did with the last couple of days on stream. So that is done now. Then if you see here in the background, you'll see logs for what's actually happening on the server while we're doing all of this. And today I'm going to be focusing on the inventory menu, the equipment menu. All right. So I just started stubbing in the controller and the UI for this. This will actually be passed into the game UI, which is that primary UI for what I was just showing you. But I was talking with my husband a little bit tonight at dinner, and we've had this kind of collision or like ambiguity when we're talking about equipment. So there are 3 pieces of equipment in the game. There is a chest piece, there are helmets, and then there are boots. And then there's also a weapon. So you can't dual wield, you can only ever hold one weapon. But the trouble is I've been referring to weapons and equipment as equipment. And sometimes I've been differentiating if I mean only the equipment that you wear. I've been calling it wearables, which has been very confusing. But when we send any kind of event over the server, over the wire, relating to equipment, there are 4 different types, and we can represent those each with a byte. So we can have or each with 4 bytes. So we can have 32 bytes just to represent all of our equipments. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to merge them. So when I say equipment, it'll be talking about the chest piece armor, or the chest piece helmet, boots, or weapon. So I'm going to do away with the equipment ID and just make there will be a weapon ID, a chest piece ID, armor ID, and helmet ID. Oh, but already we see the problem with that because let's look at our data dictionary here. I think I said 32 bytes, but we only need 4 bytes. 1 byte per equipment type. Been a long day. So what I'm trying to decide here is how best to consolidate and organize so we don't keep... Hi, Volley Josu. Welcome back. I'm trying to figure out how best to organize my equipment moving forward so that we don't have to keep being confused when we refer to weapons and equipment, because it's all technically equipment and it'll all be technically dealt with in your inventory. So let's see, let's make sure I'm building now, and then I might just start hacking and slashing and see where we land. Hi, Starman Super, welcome to the stream. We're working on inventory today. And I will probably stream 1 or 2 more times, but then I'll be off for quite a while. Heading to South Carolina to see my mom, and then after that, I'm headed on a work trip to DC for a week. So it's back-to-back trips, which I love. I live for traveling. But I'm just not sure. I won't be streaming. My husband will be. Hopefully he'll be on... He was talking about a marathon stream. I'm not sure what his plans actually will be. He's also talked about completely unplugging and just playing music all week. We'll see where he goes, but I won't be streaming for starting on the... after this weekend for 2 weeks. I might try to get into the shorts game. I'm really excited for when I start doing more art, because then I can start making shorts and really start spreading the visuals of the game around the internet. That'll be kind of neat. Alright, so let's just start blasting here. So the equipment dictionary, what we really want to do is we want to split these out. So we want weapons, helmets, chest pieces, and boots. Okay, weapon ID. Weapon ID. Let's make this one piece ID. This one will be helm ID. This one will be boots ID. So now when we talk about equipment, we'll talk about anything that the player will be wielding or wearing. Okay, so now we need to go find every reference to equipment ID and deal with it accordingly. So actually, this is a fairly deep thread that we're pulling. Hi, Monsi, welcome back. And Chili's, welcome back. And Zero Dodmaku, welcome to the stream. How goes the grind session? The session is grinding. How are you? All right. So now this is a bummer because I don't know yet how I'm going to be calling the desks, because the only thing we do right now is in the game UI in terms of equipment. When we hover over the equipment, oh, that'll be in the game controller actually. So when you hover over the equipment, we say, are you a boot? Are you a helmet? Are you a chest piece? And then we go and get the equipment desk here. So if we split that out to get boots desk, get helm desk, and just treat them as 4 completely separate types, that seems easier. And then what I'll do too is take weapon and move it in as well. Hi, the 38 dude. Welcome back. Yeah, we're not doing skill trees today, Danmaku. We're gonna do just the inventory. Skill trees is going to be next, I think. There's some decisions yet to be made there, but probably next. Chili's baby back ribs barbecue sauce. You're depressed because you suck at world map building for your game? Yeah, I I am struggling hard with world building right now. I have a pure ref, which I don't use often enough to even know how to load my last one, but let's try to find it. What recent? Okay, so this is the extent of the world building that I've done on paper. And this is from Vermis, and this is from Vermis, and then this is Neil Gaiman's instructions, and then some cool snippets I found about Welsh mythology. But yeah, as far as map building, I was watching a video just last week on how to build a good map, and the person said that what separates a good map from a bad map is good maps have realistic implications. So like a river is going to carve around a mountain range, and rivers are going to flow downhill and fork as they go downhill, but I've never really done maps before. And the 38 dude says, you and your husband working on the same game project. Yes, we are. He's working on the back end and the web server stuff, and I'm working on the front end. And Zero says, sometimes it takes a godsend to make a team of 4 to 5 on your current indie project. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, how many people made Expedition 33? All right, so first thing I want to do here is, so we're splitting out the equipment into different types because it's confusing the way we sometimes treat weapons as equipment and sometimes don't. Okay, so equipment types here. He's gonna be exactly the same. No. Weapon type. You guys ever watch rom-coms or rom-droms? Been on a really rom-drom kick on Amazon. I'm 34 and I really like romantic TV shows that are like aimed at the 16 through 20-year-old crowd. I love them. I just finished watching I don't even know. I don't even care what it was called. It was called Every Year After, and it was not good. It was just like a blatant ripoff of The Summer I Turned Pretty, but I was so into it. And then I finished that one and I went right into a hockey one. Hold on. I'm watching that one right now. That one's much better. It's called Off Campus. That's what I'm watching right now. Comment in chat if you guys are also really into romantic dramas, or if it's just me. The cheesier, the better. Boots desk. Because we don't have actual deserialization set up. I have the serialized files, but I don't actually have the deserializer written. Because it really would behoove me at this point to just make like a SQLite database. Because now I have something like 10 Excel spreadsheets, and some of them just act as relational tables between one type, one entity, and the next. So I mean, it's worth it at this point. I should figure something out, but at the moment I haven't dealt with that yet, so we don't have any deserialization for any of these equipment types yet. We are deserializing our cards with one exception. Okay, so weapon, boots, helm, chest piece. Now we gotta go back to the data dictionary, and we're gonna call this get boots desk. I've never done procedural map generation. Okay. Starman Super says most interesting talk I saw on level design stated that good levels are like playgrounds and drew comparisons to literal playground designs. I don't know how you can enable links because I would love a link to that. I'm also about to pivot to my world building era here. Unity seems harder to grasp 2D stuff. I might just stick with Game Maker. Smoking behind the supermarket with you is a new one that seems good. Is that a new ROM-trom? So, on the topic of world building, my coworker just recommended me this book that I've been listening to, and it is revelational. It is called it's the most random book, and he brought it up in a really random context, but I'm so happy that he did. Okay. The book is by Christopher Alexander, and it is called The Timeless Way of Building. And it seems to be an architecture book, but it is not an architecture book. It is a book, it is a theory of everything book. This guy talks about how humans categorize things, what is quality, what is the quality that has no name, how can we all agree that something is high quality but not be able to define why. And he goes into what he thinks goes into making something of high quality, be it a world or a game or a piece of software or a building. And I'm about halfway through, but I cannot recommend this book enough. It was a very surprising find, and I'm fascinated by it right now. And this book is the sequel. It's called A Pattern Language. I haven't read that one yet because I'm not done with this one, but he talks about like how everything is a pattern of elements and how those elements fit together is the natural order of things. And if you try to impose will clumsily on that natural order of things, it's going to be low quality. Cannot recommend it enough. For world building specifically. Data dictionary does it have an equipment dictionary? Let's take a look. Okay, now here we go. And then in equipment dictionary, yep. Okay, just then we want to get the desk for boots. Equipment.boots. Desk. Now this exact activity right here, this is something that Gen AI would be very useful for, where I'm copying and pasting the same method over and over again. And changing one word. Okay, boots, helm, chest piece. Okay, so that will cover the desks, and then I'm calling them in the controller, in the game controller here, in the CPP. Another tip I find is if you get too many tabs, try to remember to close them so you only have 1 or 2 active tabs, otherwise you just scroll and find stuff all the time. Real world level design and playgrounds and level design from GDC Festival of Gaming. I'll have to check those out. Hi Franklin Contigo, welcome to the stream. Is using Copilot worth it? I'd just try out ChatGPT or Claude AI newer. When we were trying out Copilot at work, it was a joke, but maybe it's better now. That was just a year ago, and that's an eon in the time of AI advancement, so I have no idea. Oh no, that wasn't even Copilot. That was GitLab Duo. We were trying out GitLab Duo at work, and it was a joke. I've never tried Copilot at all. Yeah, like Claude Opus is crazy. It's really, really good. Very, very useful. All right, so then if we hover equipment, we want to get the equipment ID. And okay, then we want to get the desk here. We want to capture our desk. Equipment desk. Oh, but this is a stinker. Maybe I should make them a variant because I don't want to okay. I'll just grab the name here. So if it is boots, then we want to get the boots desk. Using the name. If it is the helm, we want to get helm desk. Using the name. If it's chest piece, get chest piece desk. Using the name, and then we can just put my name here. And I want to do the same exercise for weapons, because moving forward, if you're a weapon, a chest piece, a helm, or boots, you are considered equipment, and that'll make life a lot easier. Okay, so what do I need to do here? So I need to make this. Oh. How far? Okay, I want to pull this thread all the way. I'm committed to pulling this thread all the way. So let's, because I have an equipment slot here, which let's see where I'm using it before I just start updating it. But okay. Equipment types, game controller. Oh, nice. Okay. Things will become much simpler in the code if I consolidate. Fable's coming back tomorrow. Chili's baby back ribs, barbecue sauces. Fable one-shotted an authoritative MMO backend server with movement combat inventory for me in 30 minutes. That is pretty damn cool. Did you keep it? How usable was it? Polyjustice says, been impressed by Opus, also great for generating HTML visualization tools. Ain't nobody got time for that, yeah. Big props for being in the loop with that stuff. It's interesting. Yeah, definitely. Huh. Yeah, we are very much all in on AI at work. And it's not that I'm a Luddite or like a technophobe, it's just that I don't care. I want to do it the way I want to do it. I think a big part of it is that I'm not an expert in C++. I still want to learn. I want to crack open a textbook and like be shaky about my usage of templates and get better at my usage of templates and I don't, maybe it's how I'm using AI at work, but I find that it's a whole new thought pattern. It's like, oh, this isn't working. ChatGPT or Claude, why isn't this working? And then it's like it's much higher level, and I still have so many of the fundamentals to learn, especially with C++. And it's just not. I'm in it for the dopamine. I don't get a dopamine feeling when I code with LLMs. I think if I one-shotted an authoritative MMO backend server with movement combat inventory in 30 minutes, I probably would feel some dopamine chilies, but I got so much dopamine when I got my menu icons when I one-shotted my little I'll show you. When I one-shotted these guys, that I just don't think I could get if an LLM did it for me. I haven't been getting it, and that's like my main source of dopamine and enjoyment is programming. Okay, so we've updated our desks, and then we were gonna make weapon and equipment slot. So now we want to take hover weapon and move it. So we're still gonna be, so if we call hover equipment, and hover type, this, okay, let's try to keep things in focus here. So we're going to split out here. This will be our first place to tear up. This will become chest piece, helm, boots, and we have weapon above. And that, so hover type is equipment. Then I don't think we need the equipment slot too. Okay, maybe I will actually I'll back this out the other way. I'm going to make, or actually, I don't think I need the equipment slot if I just expanded my hover type. Yeah, I don't. So, okay, I don't need to cache the equipment slot here because I now capture that. So what I'm doing with these state caching here is when you hover over a UI element, it'll show you, it'll allocate a string for the details of that thing. But if you, so imGUI is an immediate mode UI, so it's going to return true for every frame that I'm hovering over it. So it would allocate a whole bunch of strings, which is why I checked to see, was the last thing you hovered on of this type? If so, then don't propagate, don't change the string. Chili's was saying the dopamine comes from parallel agent workflows happening. Yeah, maybe. I'm not trying to dull your sparkle. Anywhere you can get dopamine in this world, I'm here for it. Okay, so hover equipment as the equipment slot. So if hover type equals I don't want to, so equipment slot already has coverage for all the hover types. I'm actually going to do this in the opposite direction here. I'm going to keep my equipment slot, and then I'm going to keep this as equipment and get rid of the weapon. Okay, so now we'll keep our equipment slot in hover types. Then in here, we'll say if hover type equals equipment and the equipment slot equals the equipment slot. That's just cleaner. So that'll include weapons now. As soon as I call it in the UI. And then we just need a case for a weapon. What happened? Okay, that'll be the next thread to pull will be the player equipment because that isn't updated yet. Get weapon desk. There we go. And I can delete this whole method. Which was here. And then update game UI. Okay. So we still can't build yet because we have to go and update the player equipment. Then some backend server stuff too. Chili's was saying, after the most recent generation of models released, my biggest bottleneck is art and map building, not code. Yeah. I am my biggest bottleneck just across the board. Do you enjoy the art and map building stuff, Chili's? Okay, player equipment. Oh, it already does, you guys. Look at that. It already includes the weapon. This is what I meant about it being confusing. Okay, so because sometimes I was treating equipment separately than weapons, but other times it was not. So now we have a chest. This is awesome. Helm ID. Then we have a chest piece ID. We have a boot ID. Oh, oh. Gotta update this to G. No boots ID. Piece ID. You enjoy it in theory, but the minute you put down a few tiles, you're in the, oh my god, what am I doing? Is it a feeling of frustration or is it a feeling of cringe? I've been battling the cringe lately, which is just like a vulnerability aspect of trying to be creative in a way that I've never been before, and I'm determined to push through. Like anything writing related, like writing the dialogue and trying to imagine the setting in words is making me feel embarrassed and vulnerable, but I'm like just gonna power right through it until I don't feel embarrassed. Frustration. Yeah. I feel frustration a lot of the time when I'm coding in C++. And generally I find that I can just get into a flow state with art. There's a lot of stuff I still have to learn with art, but I like that better most of the time. Tile, I've never been a pixel artist though, and like tile-based stuff is really, it's tedious for me. I think it's tedious. I know a lot of people are like really find it soothing to like go pixel by pixel, but that's not for me specifically. It's I don't have the patience for it. But it always looks really cool when people do it well. So Chili, are you solo building an MMO? That's super cool. Here we have boots, chest piece, helm, and then do we have weapon? No. Oh yeah, we do. I'm gonna move it down below. Okay. Okay. And so let me just update here. So helm ID, chest piece ID, boots ID, and then let's look everywhere else we're using equipment ID. Oh yeah, I forgot to update you. ID. Chest piece. That's super cool, Chili. Best of luck to you. Yeah. Have you tried? I feel like it's easier. Maybe that's not true, but I feel like it's easier to gain artistic skill over programming skill. But have you tried like just picking a style that you like a lot and then just copying it and then like copying it over and over again and adding like your own little adjustments until you can recreate that style pretty consistently? Francisco Figueroa. Hi, Francisco Figueroa. You have your own game engine, you're cracked. We are definitely cracked, that's for sure. You find it hard to want to build a single player game? Yeah. I have this dream for so this is a multiplayer game, but I do have a dream for a single player game where you do physics-based hat decoration. And that was actually the project I started on right before this, and that is why Easter eggs. I might never change it, and you guys on my stream will be the only ones to know. My OG stream watchers. This little icon is a hat right here. It's because I just copied the template that I made for my hat game, but I very much want to make one day, and I will if we get enough success with this one. I will make a solo Howl's Moving Castle-esque hattery game where you just go into the woods and you find like special rare twigs and berries and flowers and you sew them onto your hat and like it can realistically bounce and you can put it on your head and put all your different hats on display. I really would love to make that game one of these days. Alright, so let's see if we can build now, because we've updated everything I can think of except for the server commands, which the compiler might find easier than we can. Or we just look right here. Oh yeah, we should just look right here. Okay, so tests. Let's go. Okay, game controller. Yeah, okay. It's a bummer. So I was just saying, your other big problem is every game I actually want to build involves deeply customizable characters, layered equipment, or weapon customization. Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. Okay, this is a bummer, though. Okay, I don't actually need the equipment ID, so I just need a Boolean here that says equipment found. And then this can just be an auto. Okay, and then if, oh, and I should set that to true. What happens here if this returns? Yeah, I gotta be more careful about this. I'm just flying right through it. Okay. So, if ID does not equal G null ID, equipment from true, break, else, keep equipment found. Oh, yeah. So if we found the equipment, then we want to get the desk for it. Otherwise, we want to keep equipment found as false. And I'm going to do just basically that same thing here. Ever since I've been recording myself on stream, I'm mindful of my shrimp posture. I'm trying to be more mindful of my shrimp posture. But let me know if you guys also just shrimp, and what I mean by shrimp is like sitting like this. Do you guys just shrimp all day? I gotta stop shrimping. Otherwise I'm gonna have a humpback when I'm 40. Okay. Ooh. Okay, and then if equipment found. All right, then let's fix that one up. Ready. Okay, so network message test. We're trying to send a packet round trip to preserve the value. Let's just, then you can be anything. Let's make you a boots ID 10. Make sure you come out of the other side as boots. Okay, home now needs home ID, chess piece ID, boots ID. Alright, now let's give that a whirl. Oh shoot, you know what? I should make this bigger so folks can see. Actually, it would probably make me shrimp less too if I made the font bigger, so then I don't have to crane my neck forward. Really excited about this game, you guys. It's very very fun to be able to stick to something long enough to start seeing big chunks fall in play. Am I gonna one-shot this rename? I'd be really excited if I do. This refactor. 75% is pretty good for so far. The dopamine gains will be unreal if I one-shot this. No! Idiot. How could I? Oh yeah, my tests. Funny thing about this test, my husband, when he was giving me code review feedback, said, in my game controller, in hover weapon, I wasn't calling my set item hovered for one of my things, because I forgot to add a test for that method. And funnily enough, that method had another bug in there that I would have caught had I had a test for it. You gotta test your code, folks. I had tests for all my other types except for weapon, and weapon had the bug in it. Okay, so now I'm gonna just call this hover equipment, and we'll just keep it weapon. Hover equipment. Hi, Tarcio Silva. Am I saying that right? Welcome to the stream. Hello to Brazil. Thanks for watching. Oh, it was just, I almost one-shotted it. Did you see that? It was one stupid test method. Oh, I feel so cool when I make a larger refactor and it all works at the same time. Or it all works in the first go. Oh. Oh, yeah, now it's not gonna say. What are you gonna say? Oh, actually, that might point to a deeper bug. It's expecting it to say no item equipped. Oops. But it says this is very hard to read. Okay, what is this telling me? It has no weapon equipped, but it's expecting to see equipped weapon. Why? No, don't expect to see equipped weapon. Hover equipment weapon. You're expecting to see no weapon equipped, but what you see is equipped weapon end. So let's go with why that is. I didn't make you static, did I? No. Okay, so we come in here with a equipment slot of weapon. If hover type equals hover type equipment, it would. And equipment slot equals weapon, it would. So we come in here and first time it would not. So then we would found false. Equipment type is weapon. Weapon. Okay, and they were saying that we were hoping to see no weapon equipped, but what we really see is equipped weapon : oh, yep. That's why you have tests, folks. Because you invert your logic and you don't notice. Ha ha ha! Nice. Okay. So I'm gonna commit to that. Actually, let's make sure that we can run the thing too, because we are sending equipment desks over the server, or not equipment desks, but equipment slot. Weapon. Oh, look at that. No, it's weapon, helm, chest piece, and boots, because we don't have anything equipped yet. And so now what we're doing is we're prompting each player to change their equipment, which is hopefully what we're going to integrate today, depending on time here. Okay. So tester passing. Refactor was successful, so I'm going to say refactored equipment into weapon, helm, chest piece, and boots. Okay, so now that that's here, what do I want to start with? I think I want to start with the prompt for equipping a weapon. So it's player turn start. What I want here is a little slide out panel that's black right here that will tell you what your task, your current prompt is. Because right now your current prompt is to change your equipment, which would allow you can only change your equipment at the beginning of your turn, so it would allow you to click any of these 4 buttons or this button to pop out your inventory menu. But I think what I'm gonna write this down here quick. Okay, so to when players turn to equip to change equipment. So when on prompt change equipment, all 4 slots are enabled. Equipment menu is enabled. Phase instructions, or let's say prompt. Prompt panel shows change equipment. Slots are. So when we're not prompting to change your equipment, all 4 slots are disabled. Equipment menu is still enabled, but confirm button is disabled. Better specify that here. And confirm button is enabled. You can always hover, so I don't need to specify that. Then next, then when inventory or equipment menu is clicked, Oh, is the text too small again? How is this, Bali Josu? That's really large, but I can deal with that if that helps you guys see. No, so a test engine I'm using gtest, but then let's actually get into one. But yeah, just straight up gtest, but then I don't know if you're considering gtest the testing harness or if you're considering like the little whatever the hell this class, whatever you'd call that, as being the test harness. I'm really happy. gtest is very simple. And what we do here is we just make like a little class for the test that has all the types that we need in it, and then our unit under test here is our actual the game controller. Oh, there's no hope. Well, I might go one size smaller. People that aren't casting on a TV, how does this font look? Okay, so then what else do we want to do? So when equipment menu is clicked, we want to cover the viewport with the inventory menu. If prompt change equipment state, confirm button is enabled, want to show current equipment. I think for simplicity's sake, we're only going to show unequipped equipment in inventory. Hover over shows details in details window. So that's the task for the nuts. Yeah, the way we're mocking isn't that nice. I just found this out, Validosi. Let me make it really big so you can see. My husband did this, and I don't know why it's never occurred to me that one could do this, but so each test is its own executable. So you've got to, each of them have their own CMake list. Let's see this here. Let's find. So you've got to link all of the CPPs here. And this can get really ugly really fast because, like, let's say instance manager is relying on functionality for persistent session, and then persistent session needs persistent session manager, and like you can really chain. But then I saw this dandy in my husband's class. So command dispatch, the only method that is being called in these classes, in these functions, in the command dispatch is send class selection request. So rather than including the CPP in the CMake list, you can literally just put like the symbol for the function here and mock it right there. God, that was cool. It had just never occurred to me that you could do that. So this was on my notepad, and one day I'll share my rant with you about how much I hate the new notepad changes. I hate the fact that they persist the tabs. It drives me absolutely crazy. When I close notepad, I want everything to be flushed. But when I was doing my digging into fairies and Welsh mythology, I found that there's this type of goblin that lives in caves, and there's lore around these caves or these goblins, that they would announce the doom of a miner by knocking 3 times distinctly. And I don't know what was going on in Wales, but that is so freaking cool. I'm gonna try to put some elements of just like the most badass mythological things that I encounter in here. That's the fun thing. That's the fun part for me about making a fantasy dungeon crawler, is I can go just like sit and spiral infinitely with really cool things that inspire me and put them all in one spot. But making them coherent, and that's going to be tricky. All right, so step 1, I live and die by my to-do lists. So disable enable state of UI when it is player's turn to change equipment. So first thing we need to do is we need the prompt panel. So that'll be easy, and that'll be part of the main UI here. So let's get into the game controller. And the prompt panel, whenever we receive a prompt from the server, like here we're blocking on a prompt for the player. Whenever we receive one, we want to let the player know, oh, excuse me, right here with a little black panel, that it is their turn to act. Okay, so the game UI. This is how my MGUI ended up. I'm actually pretty happy with it. I think it's about as neat as MGUI can possibly get. But for the game UI, we go kind of like round robin around the map or around the screen, but we draw the toolbar and the viewport stones panel and the party and the player and the logs, the details and the footer. Then each of these are fairly flat. We don't have any business logic or really very much presentation logic either. It's just like flat. Get like call into the controller. Let the controller handle its business, because we can test the controller layer, but we can't test this very easily. So we are looking for the toolbar. And we already have our dimensions and we know of the toolbar, so right underneath the middle here, we are going to we're going to set the cursor pose X back to the beginning of the toolbar. And just let the Y end up being where it is. So this is just the MGUI cursor is where is the next element going to be drawn. Now we want to... It's not going to be a button. I don't think I have just a black image, so I'm just going to make another toolbar for now, because we don't care what things look like for this juncture. Then text colored, so we can make white text. I'm setting the cursor back again, so theoretically so what we do, this is the pillar that holds like the player turn text on it in the middle of the toolbar, and what we do is we draw the middle of the toolbar and then we set the cursor back to like the upper left of where that toolbar would have been drawn, so that we can draw our text. And then I'm sending it back up to the left of where the toolbar would have been drawn, but keeping the Y down, so that this should be the same X as the beginning of the toolbar center, but a different Y, a lower Y. Then we have to figure out with the Y. So the Y would be toolbar center dot size. Oh. If I cheat and do this. Trying to do the UI not in an editor is a little bit challenging sometimes. Okay, so then the text is going to be, let's just say, change equipment for now. We're going to wire that up to what the prompt is. Let's just see if I put that in the right spot. Oh yeah, I was already opening. Close, yeah. Okay, that did not achieve my means. In fact, it made my original text disappear as well. So let's figure out why. Oh yeah, we don't want to draw the image right here. What are you asking for? The position as well? Oh yeah, okay. So we want static const. What I did was I drew this toolbar right over top of the old one. So static const auto prompt panel. Plus toolbar centered dot. The nice thing about the static const auto right here is that's going to enforce that it's only calculated once per application runtime. So we don't have to do these calculations every frame. And we're not allowing for resizable windows, so that's what makes this possible. You can resize the window at application launch time, but not dynamically throughout the application run. Bye. And then the size will just be the same as the toolbar center. So then prompt panel dimensions. I don't think I need you anymore. But I do want to put you right here. Review. Okay, let's try that. Okay, put the original one back, but how and where is it drawing my text? So let's simplify it a little bit and get rid of the new lines. So toolbar center pose dot x is where we start. So whenever I can't see anything, I just comment everything else out but the thing I'm trying to draw. I'm expecting to see a second one of these appear right below with text on it that says change equipment. Okay, so if... wonder why. So now I'm just going to not draw that first image and see if that allows the second one to show underneath, because that'll be telling. No, it's not drawing at all. It's not drawing where we can see. I put this one back. What? Just put it in the middle of the screen. Do we have the accident? No, we don't here, but let's just put it at like... oops. $900 by 800 by 4. So this, we should see it in the middle of the screen, unless the viewport should not be. The viewport is being rendered underneath. It's being rendered first, so it shouldn't be possibly obscuring this. I have not watched Obsession yet. Hi, Goshen Game Dev. Welcome to the stream. It looks really good, though. And it, of course, like, captures the dream that I'm sure most of us have of like, making your first thing and it becoming wildly successful. It's really cool. I saw something where, like, the director just turned 21 last week or something, or isn't even 21 yet, couldn't get a legal drink after he made billions with this movie. It looks like a good movie. What the heck, you guys? Why isn't my image rendering it right about here? Is it the size here? Okay. Panel dimensions. Toolbar center. serpose to the pose and draw the image of the size. That's as simple as it gets. Okay, let's just make it. What is the size? Toolbar dimensions times 5 times. Okay, that is kind of weird. What if we just make it back to Oh, thank you so much, Goshin. Oh, you gotta get some shut-eye. Alright, see you later. Hopefully see you next stream. Ah, where is it? Where is it? Okay, if y'all can see the where I'm making my mistake, let me know. What am I truncating? Am I lopping anything off that I shouldn't be here? Nope, I did not think so. So the toolbar, no, because, okay, let's just talk through that for a minute. What are my window flags? No title bar, no resize, no scroll bar, no background, no move, no bring to front, no scroll. That's okay. That's what we want. Okay, what if I just make the size? My current working theories are somehow truncating in the Y. I'm gonna make the Y 5 times as big here. I don't think we're doing that though. But maybe. I don't think see what else it could be. No. Let's make it a different image. Let's make it. Man. So this should start the man that's 200 by 300 pixels at the dead center of the screen, which should be overlaying the viewport because the viewport is drawn first. Definitely first. The viewport, if we go over to the engine. This is our renderer. The viewport is drawn here and here. And then the UI, which is all of our ImGUI stuff, is rendered last. Hi, Anne Jack the Mage. Is the art style a combination of cell shading and dithering? Thank you so much. I have been working on the shader for a million years, and this is a nice distraction for my stupid bug that I can't figure out. So, you can do a lot of cool stuff with it. I don't know why it's supposed to be gray like this at the moment, but I just haven't gone back, updated the color of the light, but we can do some cool stuff. The material, and unfortunately right now we have the selected material thing, but you can do flat shading or use texture normals, and then change our normals amount. And then we have this hatching texture, which is pretty fun too. Let me pick something else so you can kind of see. So we can do lots of really fun stuff, and then we have even more fun stuff we can do. Well, it's not an environment property. So I was talking about this before, but I've like tone mapped this. So if I want to change the color of everything that's red to blue, I can. But I think it's not in. All right. Oh, post-process effects. Here we go. We can do even more fun stuff, like add a noise mask gradients. Don't know if, oh, I do. It's right here. So add noise. Actually, I don't really see the noise showing up. Maybe that's not working at the moment. Why would you be? Oh, there we go. So you can add noise over the top, and you can actually do some cool stuff with it to make it look like that. I'm going for like retro dark fantasy. Actually, if you guys, this is perfect. I'm wearing the shirt from the album cover of Black Sabbath right now. This is what I'm going for. And so I've been working on a shader for a long time to be able to get there. Okay, so let's turn the tiling on a little bit more. And then put the gradient back on. And then you can also, it's using outlines using like the normals and depth pass technique, but you can change the color. Just all sorts of cool stuff that you can do. But I was telling people this in the last stream, I don't think I'm going to keep this like very severe tone mapping look. I think I'm going to go more naturalistic because this looks cool, but I don't know. It has to be perfect, and I'm not getting perfect from these current vibes. But we'll see as I actually start getting more elements into the game. But somebody help me with my stupid bug. Why isn't my panel rendering? Like I'm losing my dang mind. Okay, let's just one by one go through this. So maybe my draw image isn't working, so let's do imgui image. And we'll do the same man picture. And we'll make it this big. Maybe it's a positioning thing. Maybe my cursor is weird and this is like stacking positions. So let's try that first. Comment this out. I'm not actually using any dithering in the shader. Ah, where is it? Oh, okay, it is getting truncated because it's right here. Do you guys see that? It is getting truncated. Okay, so that is good to know. So we actually do want the size to be twice as big. I thought I ran this test and didn't see squat. So X. Okay, so let's times 2.0 for now. That'll make it twice as big, which should give us plenty of time, plenty of room. Okay, so then let's try to draw the toolbar again. We can slowly reintroduce elements until we get our toolbar to be where we want it to be. It must have just been truncated and I didn't catch it that first time. Oh yeah, that was this Discord panel. I don't know if that shows up on stream. Let me look. But there's a little Discord overlay, and I think that was just covering up my. What is he? Yeah, I think that was covering up my panel because it's right here. Okay. Now we're back in business, you guys. So this is in the wrong spot because we really want it to be here. So let's try to go back to draw image and just see where it puts it. So it's going to put it on the left of the center pose, center left panel, and then at the bottom of the center, no, at the top of the center panel, plus twice again the size of the center panel in the Y direction. That's what we want. Hi again, Tarcio. No, I work on this with my husband. It has, so he started out as the solo on the game engine, and then I started helping him with graphics years ago, and then we both kept working on it. And then he dropped off the engine about a year ago, and then I picked up this game project and have been working on it by myself. And then he recently decided to help me. Okay, it's gone again, but now we know that it's probably just being rendered in the wrong spot or something, so yeah, maybe I don't want it to be twice the size. I just want it at the bottom. But it is just the two of us. Yeah. Okay. There we go. We're getting there now. We're starting to figure it out. Here's the man. I don't want him to be the man. I want him to be the toolbar. And then we just want it to be the toolbar size here. Sometimes the weirdest things take the most time. Oops. I'm gonna hit cancel instead of continue. I'm excited to get the inventory menu all plugged in though. Oh yeah, it's right here. Okay. Move it up just a hair. Shrink it down just a hair. Minus. That prop panel dimensions dot color. So now we're setting the cursor back to the start of the panel so that we can write our change equipment. So anytime the server prompts, there, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, anytime the server prompts the player, it'll appear right here. So this is just a functional prototype, so we're not going to use any of these images. But I'm going to try to get like the centering and such to be the correct, so that when I do replace with real images, I don't have to redo the centering. So if we are, oh goodness, what is this math? We are making this point. You know, this is horrible, but I don't want to do the math. And would I replace this with my black rectangle or whatever it will be? This will be fine. No, you want to be padding is float, right? I'll just propagate to both like that. Okay, and then I want this to be the title font, but I don't want it to be... Actually, I want it to be the body font. I just want it to be bigger. Probably not as big as 40. Let's do 32. Okay, let's see where we land here. Hi, Hixie. Welcome back to the stream. We're working on our inventory menu today, and specifically we are working on the little prompt. So when you get prompted, here's our to-do list, but when the server prompts you to do something, we want a little panel that shows you what that prompt is telling you to do. So we're on right here because we skipped ahead and we haven't done the disabling yet. And what I did earlier was we had been confusingly referring to equipment and weapons, sometimes as all being equipment and sometimes not. And I've consolidated all of that. So anything, weapon or helm or chest piece, they're all considered equipment, but they all have their own separate types now. Okay. So that'll be fine. We just need to move it up a little bit. And render it first. Okay, so tweaked here. Padding. Don't know if we want padding here. Okay, so this should draw the panel underneath the primary toolbar. I want to see if I have a black bar because that would look nicer here. If I already have one uploaded, I don't know if I want to take the time. I do not. What are you? Background? Even that might look a little nicer than just this thing twice in a row, but trying not to focus on the niceness of how it looks right now because I'm going straight functional prototype. But what I am spending time on is making sure elements are where they need to be as I go and replace them with the actual production assets. Okay, yeah, that is going to be fine. I just need to move the and we're gonna make you smaller, maybe 24. Like half of that and then twice. Actually, I'm fine with this not being centered for now, so that should be good to go. So now what we want to do is we want a controller method to get the current prompt and show what the text is. So if we, let's run it one more time so I can get a look at what the prompt looks like when it comes from the server. Okay, so it's change equipment. And what I wouldn't give for like a little, we have an editor, but like an editor's ability to get into MGUI and take this text and just move it a little bit and then update it. That would save me a lot. Okay, so I need to grab this, which is a, oh, and I can put all the things back now too, can't I? Okay, so we want to get what I want to do is handle both. We have two prompts right now. One for select class, which, oh no, we don't need select class in the game scene. So we only have one right now, which is on prompt change equipment. So I'm going to handle this game event in the controller. And when it is raised, I want to set the operation to select equipment. Oh, actually, this is, but I'm going to change this right now to make it less confusing. Select equipment upgrade. This is something else than what block is for changing your equipment from your inventory. And changing your equipment should block, so let's do an order of when they happen in the turn. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the game events class and I'm going to inject it into the game controller. Although, wait a minute, no. Because what I'm trying to do is keep this class a dispatcher because we have so much going on in our UI for this main scene. This is already a lot, and this is just for like handling the hover information. So what I want to do is pass in the equipment controller here. And then just dispatch into that. So what I really want to do is put game events in the equipment controller. But I wonder... Okay, so let's maybe start on that next. I'm going to update my to-do list. Make this its own item. Shows current prompt. So in order to do this, we want to pass game events into equipment controller, and then we want to pass equipment controller into equipment UI. And probably end up passing equipment UI into game UI, but I'm not sure about this last step here. All right, well, I am probably going to call it here and resume this. It's Tuesday today, so I'll probably stream again Thursday. I've got to hit the sack here soon. So I'll probably stream Thursday or Friday and then try to get one more in on the weekend. And then I was telling the others earlier, but I'll be traveling for the next 2 weeks. So from the 6th, then the week of the 13th too. And I'm not sure that I'll be able to get any streaming in during that time. I'm hoping to stream the weekend of when I get back from my work trip, which would be the 18th and 19th, definitely. Make some shorts from the hotel room, but my husband will probably be streaming because he'll be here. Anyway, so yeah, next stream we're going to work on more on the actual inventory itself, and starting with, and I'll probably do some of this tomorrow, but getting a new UI and controller class set up for equipment, and then getting those plugged into the main UI, and then passing game events so that anytime we have a prompt here, we can change the text on our prompt panel. Went all right? Oh yeah, thanks. I have to get my Discord is a hot mess, Hixie. I need to put introduction channels in there and like a show off channel, and remember to greet people when they join. And I will do that very soon one day, and then also post when I'm going to stream. I also have to do that. But thank you guys so much for joining. It's always really fun to chat. And I will see you Thursday. I will post something in the Discord ahead of time so you'll know. But I'm thinking probably Thursday night. All right. Have a wonderful day.